can feel it down in my plums. When I hear a sound, a rap at the door, my young son Gabriel walks in.
Well, welcome back to Let the Boys Watch, an entertainment podcast brought to you by Going Gray Productions. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Robbie. And this week's episode was Quentin Tarantino Week Part 2. And the winner of Quentin Tarantino Week Part 2 was the 2019 dramedy Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, Emile Hirsch, Margaret Qualley, Timothy Olyphant, Austin Butler, Dakota Fanning, and Al Pacino. Alongside me is a man who always provides me with great advice. Cuz, you remember what you told me a few years ago?
I don't, but I just remembered that I called you pumpkin puss and you weren't too happy about it.
Oh, well, the advice you gave me a couple of years ago was timely. And you told me, don't cry in front of the Mexicans. And I haven't cried since in front of a Mexican. So thank you, cuz.
You're welcome. Hey, listen, everybody needs a good piece of advice every once in a while.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, please. And alongside the cuz and myself is the originator of the Spawn Ranch, good friend and co-host, Ryan. How we feeling?
Who are you? Cliff Booth. Yeah, so like Robbie said, this is Let the Boys Watch. We watch typically movies that one or all of us haven't seen. But sometimes we do whatever we want, regardless. Usually we'll come up with some kind of theme, like Quentin Tarantino Week Part 2, or whatever. We'll put it up for a vote on Instagram. So you should follow us there. Let the Boys Watch Pod. Yes? No?
Yeah, you know you got it.
So follow us on there. Every Friday we have a vote. And send us an email about either this week, last week, 50 weeks ago. We've been at this for a while. Send us an email at ltbwpodcast@gmail.com. I don't know. Tell us what you think, what you like, what you don't like. Give us some suggestions for, an upcoming theme or a specific movie. We love to hear it. And while you're doing all these things, do some other things. Ben, tell them about it.
Yeah, follow us on YouTube. Do it, please. Let the boys watch on YouTube. If you would subscribe and like below the video here, you'll never miss a video. It'll pop up on your home screen. It costs you nothing. You get to see three semi-handsome men talk about movies, and if you need something to put on in the background while you're doing chores around the house, consider us, please, for your YouTube needs. We would love to see you there. Let the boys watch on YouTube. Subscribe, follow, and like.
Nice. I'd say one handsome, two moderates. You
Okay.
guys can discuss who the one handsome one is.
Yeah, leave it in the comments below.
Yeah, leave it in the comments. Let us know. No, don't do that. My ego would get crushed.
Hey, listen, if I'm called moderately handsome, I'll take it.
Fair. Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think Benny is the one who hasn't seen it. Correct?
Well, if you listen to Going Great podcast this week, you would have known that Robbie saw part of it and fell asleep. I thought he was a Quentin Tarantino fan. I guess not. But yeah, I'm the only one that hasn't watched it. I was actually shocked that this movie came out in 2019. I was like, where did time go? Like, how is this almost 6 years ago at this point? Especially because I've been telling we're gonna watch it next week, I guess, for 5 years now. So no, I was excited. I was excited. I finally got to watch it. I'm really interested in watching Jackie Brown at some point. But really, I think this week there were no losers. Hateful Eight would have been great. And before I pass it off here, I think this is Quentin Tarantino Week Part 3, because we did Reservoir Dogs, we did Pulp Fiction. So this
Well,
should
that
be
was
a
the
pick.
Reservoir Dogs was first time directors
Oh yeah,
movies.
yeah, guest pick.
So it was like PTA and
Yeah, yeah,
Danny
yeah,
Boyle,
yeah, yeah,
maybe.
yeah. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You're right.
See?
He's right. He's always right. I mean, come on.
Always right.
38 years of this, and I'm still doubting him.
Robbie,
Thank you.
does it get like tiring being right all the time? Like, are you just like these fucking people? Why I'm always right?
Not
What's
really.
going
I mean,
on?
What gets tiring is when the people doubt me. Benny usually doubts me. Doesn't think I'm right. But every day I wake up and look at me, I'm like, right again, right again.
Oh, hey, when you're right, you're right, and you're right.
Yeah. When you're
And you,
wrong,
you're always right.
yeah. When you're wrong, you just do executive orders.
That's right. Sign anything you want. Um, Robbie, like Benny said, maybe fell asleep during one of your viewings, but were you excited to get into this week?
I was. I don't know what it was. What was my deal back in 2019? I definitely was disappointed in it. I mean, I did fall asleep. It was very long. I think it was before, maybe not really, because long movies became the thing. But Quentin Tarantino always has a couple of long ones. But I don't know. I think I was a little tired. Obviously, I did fall asleep, and then when I picked it back up in the second half, I think I was still a little groggy and not knowing what's going on. But I was definitely excited to watch this go around. Obviously, I know Brad Pitt won the Oscar for supporting actor, and my plums just stay fully torqued for DiCaprio any performance season. So I was getting excited to watch that. So I was totally in the zone this time watching it. Um, and I'm glad I did because the last time wasn't a good experience for me. And at least I went into it fresh, even though I knew I was in for a 2 hour, 45-minute experience. I had the mind frame, and a little hot cocoa, and I was ready to go.
Ooh, that's nice.
Nice. Marshmallows?
Now, reduce calorie. It's almost summertime, so please.
Oh yeah. Gotta keep it tight.
Cheers.
Um, yeah, I mean, I saw it, I guess when it like first came onto streaming, because I don't remember if it had a theatrical release. I think it was a minimal one because of 2019 and 2020, whatever. But I watched it like the first week it was on streaming, I think. And didn't like it all that much. Like I didn't hate it, but I was just kind of like, nah, all right.
Yeah.
Eh. Um, but since then, I've watched it, I'd say probably including this, like two or three times. And I'll just get into my overall impressions unless anyone wants to know. Uh, it's watching it again, the second time I watched it, I was like, all right, I get it. I love it. Fantastic film. Um, this third time or fourth time, wherever we're at for me, um, I still really liked it, but I definitely, again, who am I? Who are we? But I was trying to watch it a little, try to be a little critical if I could. And there's a few things that I don't love, but overall, I still really enjoy this movie. And the last, I wouldn't call it the last act, but the last scene, large scene, like just it almost it's like if you go to all right, Quentin Tarantino's a restaurant, every meal you have there is almost always delicious. I mean, all of his movies that we've watched, we typically love. This one, it was a good meal, maybe a little not what you were expecting, not what you wanted, but the dessert, like, just blew your plums off. And it kind of like made the meal better. So that's how, like, this movie for me, the ending kind of really just makes it all worth it. Now, there's a lot of good scenes leading up to that. I just think it's a little bit long. And I think I would appreciate it more if I had more knowledge of Hollywood's history, and or, lived there maybe. I don't know if California Ben can help us out with any of that stuff, but yeah, I enjoy it. It's not my favorite Tarantino, but I do really like it.
Robbie, go ahead.
Me? All right. Um, yeah, I definitely a little bit too long for my liking. I thought the pacing was good, but there was some parts, specifically I did enjoy it, but it definitely dragged a little bit when um Rick Dalton was talking to the girl for an extended period of time, sitting on like that little porch area. That was a little bit too much, I think, for me. That kind of took me out of it for a little bit, but I came right back in. But I mean, what can I do? I mean, I'm not, Mr. Editor, but I just thought the movie was fantastic. The dialogue, of course. I mean, you're getting the everything you want in a Tarantino film. The dialogue, the direction, top notch, cinematography, top notch. I said the writing, the music, forget about it. I mean, it was like just I felt like I was playing Grand Theft Auto, just changing the channels while I was playing with the old school radio stuff, the radio hits, the music, um, old Hollywood. I mean, I loved it. I loved how he recreated all that. I thought it was fantastic, and the performances. I mean, I can't find a bad performance. Maybe Luke Perry, maybe Mikey Madsen. I think some
RIP.
when she went a little bit too much at the end, but a little over the top. But I can't really find too much about it. I mean, there was great performances all around, and I loved it. I really did. It's not my favorite, but I think it's in my top five. And I said to myself after I was done watching, I was like, "Is this something I can rewatch again?" And I said, "Yeah, without a doubt," because it did. I'm contradicting myself because it did kind of stall a little bit, but also it kind of flew. It didn't feel like a 2 hour and 45 movie, even though I just said 5 minutes ago it did. So don't listen to me. I'm an idiot. Anyway, I liked it and it was good and it's great. And I would definitely watch it again.
Yeah, no, I would definitely watch this again. It feels a little self-indulgent at times, but and I think part of it is going into this movie knowing Tarantino has that like self-imposed 10 movie cap, where he said he only wants to do one more movie. So knowing that this is 9 out of 10, you're like, man, I really hope this is just like the next Tarantino classic, like the another Pulp Fiction, another Inglourious Bastard, something that's just incredible. And it's not, but it's really, really good. And like you said, Ryan, there's a little bit of that nostalgia for me because there were a few places that I picked out of places that I visited a lot and where I lived in LA. The Bruin Theater was right by my office where I walked, so I walked by that area all the time. Um, it's cool to know like the history of LA a little bit and all the different places they went up in the Hollywood Hills and seeing like those views and everything like that. Um, this movie to me, like like Robbie, Leo DiCaprio Stan, he is the only actor where I seriously get lost in like he's not an actor. Like he is that character always. Like when he's Frank Abagnale, he's just Frank Abagnale. When he's I forget his name in Django, he's just that person. Like I don't know, like Brad Pitt, I see Brad Pitt, but after
Yeah.
like the first 5 minutes of whatever character and he like builds that character, he's just that person and it's so incredible. Like I get why they probably just gave Brad Pitt an Oscar because they kind of do that sometimes where it's like the body of work. But for DiCaprio not to get an Oscar for this is just, I don't know. It's probably that thing where like you could give him an Oscar for anything. So, he almost gets like overlooked. But just so many subtle things with the character. I'm not even talking about the movie at this point, but like the slight stutter that he had, and it's like never even touched on. It's just the part of the character. Him being like kind of sickly, like never touched on, but it's just part of the character. So just my love for that character brought me through, I guess, those slow moments in the movie. And then Ryan, like you mentioned, like the cherry on top of the movie is like you're expecting like this gory, at some point thing with Tarantino, and you're left waiting for it the whole movie. And then when you get it, it's just a 10 out of 10 ending to the movie and a 10 out of 10 scene. So I think there was a little bit of expectations of what this movie was going to be and what I wanted it to be, and it didn't deliver, but it also like I guess like Robbie was saying, like, but it did deliver in other ways that made it a really good movie and something that I want to watch again. So yeah, fantastic performances, like Robbie said. I love the GTA shout out. Like I could just picture Pitt cruising with all those different tunes playing and the radio changing. So yeah, no, it was fun. It was a great movie. Um, I don't know where it's going to rank in my Tarantino. I think once we kind of complete the set, we should definitely maybe even do like a Tarantino retrospective and kind of rank all the movies because he seems to just be one of the greats and one that strikes a chord with all three of us. So yeah, I liked it and I would watch it again. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Calvin Candy.
Yep.
Yes, thank you. Sorry.
It's like Jordan. It's like, yeah, you could have given him MVP every single season. The fact that he only has one is a travesty. He could have won multiple times for probably Wolf, Django, this. Uh, you know, It's crazy. He's just the best. And yeah, you want to say what a wackadoo he is outside. I don't care. I mean, I
No,
love his performances. It's such a joy to watch what he does because it's just amazing.
yeah. It's like I said, that was just the thing that really just hit me this time was like he's just always who he's portraying. Like it's not even, I don't know. You always see like Brad Pitt, like I said, you always like there's always those Brad Pitt isms where like, it's like, oh, that's classic Brad Pitt. And it's just not that way with Leo.
Fair point. It's true. Um,
This movie did, sorry, Ryan. This movie did
no, go ahead.
make $392 million worldwide.
Wow.
Pretty good.
42,
When
41 mil open a weekend.
does it say what was the date of release? Does it say?
July 28th, 2019.
Huh. I'm always jammed up with that's prior to COVID, right?
Yeah, COVID, like full
Was like
lockdown was like
March
March
2020.
2020. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then that makes sense. I feel like I'm associating it with COVID. Maybe it like came out on streaming like during the
I think
beginning of the
Probably
so.
around that
Yeah.
time.
lockdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I was the first time I watched it, I was kind of like, I don't like this. But I was just stressed about global pandemics or something. Um, but yeah, just quickly, and we'll get to our scores, just to echo some of what you guys are saying. I agree that it like at some parts it drags, and there's like you mentioned the part where he's talking with the little girl. Um, it's a very weird movie to me because it does at parts drag, but I still like them, if that makes sense. Like I enjoy that part, but I agree there's some of these parts don't need to be in this film, and it could definitely be cut down a lot, but I still like the parts. If I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I feel like I like them, but maybe they should be cut out.
No, it's a lot of world building that
Yeah,
doesn't necessarily need to be there. Like what is I guess it builds the relationship between those two characters to when they
right.
actually film the scene and she gives him that praise that
Yeah,
he so badly needs, like it hits a little bit harder. So it serves that scene instead of like the movie as a whole, but it kind of does because his crisis of character
right.
is there. So it's like a lot of like I don't know. There's like so many different like storylines and subplots in this movie that don't necessarily serve the overlying storyline of the movie, but they just all pay off in little ways throughout the movie.
Right. Like, did we need to watch him fix the antenna on the house?
I mean, of
Not,
course.
not really. I mean, yes, because he took his shirt off, but like not really. But then there's little pieces to that like you see the flamethrower and tool shed and like stuff like
Yeah.
that and other things. But
But even like that, but that fixing the antenna gets you to that Bruce Lee
the best.
story that's kind of potentially made up in his head, right? That he's just like and I'm stealing this from something else. It's not my original thought, but they said it was like maybe like an unreliable narrator that he is, that you can't really trust everything he says because there's no way in hell that he would have been able to even, beat up Bruce Lee. And I don't know, that little dream sequence was kind of an unreliable narrator to his character, especially with
Yeah.
the whole maybe killing his wife, maybe,
Yeah,
maybe not.
that's crazy. I never even thought of that. That makes complete sense. That like because he in the rest of the film he is kind of a badass. He beats the shit out of Clem, kicks the shit out of the two people that come in the house, Tex and whatever the girl's name is. But yeah, like the fact that he like hung with Bruce Lee and kind of kicked his ass, like eh, I don't know.
Yeah,
But it's still and is that part necessary? No, but I still like it.
yeah.
But
Um,
to your point earlier, Ryan, with like the old Hollywood stuff in Robbie too, like I wouldn't say I'm like the biggest well, for a fact that I'm not the biggest movie person, but I guess just, living in LA and kind of understanding a little bit about the history of it, there's so much cool stuff in there that like, I'm sure movie nerds like just go absolutely crazy for this movie and all the little things that they've thrown in if I'm noticing little things. So it's just like it's a great story, and I'm sure it's like this overall love letter to movie making and all these little. It's kind of it sucks because there's probably so many homages. There always are in
Oh
Tarantino
yeah.
movies that I don't pick up, and you see it like in these like videos explaining. Um, so there's probably like that whole other layer of the movie that's just not there for us because we just don't know.
Right.
But I do love the like the meta of him filming scenes and like you get so locked into a scene and then the one he has where he's like he forgets the lines and like it almost snaps you out of it like oh yeah we're watching him like it's just so good in like all these different ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Good
think
point.
that that's actually part of the actual movie and
Yeah.
the plot of the movie, and meanwhile, it's just him acting as an actor, being an actor.
That's true. Good point. All right, let's do some plum scores, and then we'll get to some segments and games. Does anyone want to start with their score?
I want to start first because I feel like I'm going to be influenced if I hear you guys scores. I'm I went from again this is in the movie where I'm like my range is I'm going to settle on 9.2. Just because I think that it's I didn't even mention this because I went so hard on Leo. Like it is so this movie is so beautiful. And Robbie mentioned like the cinematography and the directing. Like I don't know, man. There's just something about the way this movie is shot and the way all the frames are set up, and even when the characters are talking, like the way they are on the screen, it was so noticeable to me. And it's you know he's so good, Tarantino, and I just feel like he's the type of person that this all this new technology in movies he does it all right like he benefits from all the cameras and the newer styles and all that stuff like that where you don't even feel it but you don't even notice it but you just see it and you're just kind of uh drawn back at how beautiful it is so I'll go with that as my score.
It's a good score.
Yeah.
Robin, you
I can
want
go.
to go?
This movie gets a lot of hate online. I don't know why.
It does.
Um, I'm not too sure why it does. I think everybody just is fucking annoying, and just loves to have a negative opinion on stuff. Like Benny said, and it's just so beautiful the way he shoots it. And I think if anybody, the millions and millions of people that have listened to this podcast and this YouTube channel knows how much I love Quentin Tarantino. The style of movies that he makes are the style of movies that I love and like. The dialogue, the music, direction, the performances he gets out of every single one of his actors. It's just a testament to him. Does he bite off people? Of course. I think everybody does that in their own little way. The influences of what he used to watch. I mean, he's a movie nerd. He worked in a movie store, you know, so of course he's going to draw inspiration from other things. But um, yeah, I was so happy I watched it again, like I said, because yeah, I didn't do it justice the first time, and the second time around, it's just a fantastic movie. I love everything about it. I love the again I use from the Plumby's juxtaposition of Rick's declining career and Sharon Tate's ascending career, and how that plays a factor. Where like Rick's well known, he's definitely a little fading star, and like Margot Robbie's character Sharon Tate can just is a new movie star on a rise. She's not even noticed, right? She has to go and tell people that she's in a movie. Um, so I thought that was a cool thing about that. I did love that he did the original movie with the actual Sharon Tate while Margot Robbie's in the theater watching. I thought that was an awesome touch. I just loved. I'm rambling a bit, but I just loved the fake scenes, TV scenes with DiCaprio. I just loved that. I thought that was awesome. Um, yeah, if I gave, Kill Bill this and I gave Reservoir Dogs this, and I think this is a better movie than that, then I'll probably settle at a 9.5 for this movie.
I love to like you said with the just using the original Sharon Tate, but then they like somehow put Leo DiCaprio in that Steve McQueen movie. Like that's crazy how they did that. Like how they put him with those old actors when he's talking about how he was, not supposed to be in that movie or he was supposed to be, and then McQueen came in. The other thing I forgot to mention too is I didn't know. Um, Sharon Tate was killed by the Manson family until after the movie. So this is kind of like a play on Inglorious Bastards almost too, where it's like that they change history, which is
Yeah.
kind of a cool concept. Um, for the second time Tarantino's done something like this, and I kind of love that. I love that kind of just like that's. I guess Inglorious Bastards is more than slightly changing history, but this movie it's a little bit more subtle. So it's just a cool concept to have all this other stuff, like this whole movie, and then at the end, like the kicker of the movie is like, and they changed, the course of history.
Yeah. Every time I watch this film, I'm like, I'm gonna look up, the like Manson, like all the Tate murder and like all that stuff, and I don't know, I just never do it.
Also, you don't want to be on a
Yeah.
list somewhere because you're Googling Charles Manson.
Possible. I was just saying it just now. I was like, oh, that's it. They
Yeah.
got me
Some of that
now.
stuff is yeah, it's I don't know, it's crazy, disturbing what they did. But no, I do love that too. I really do. And I also love like I didn't catch it then, but catching it now and seeing like Austin Butler and Margaret Qualley and Sydney Sweeney. It's like, oh my God, he just grabbed all these up and comers who are like pretty much stars now. Sans Lena Dunham, get out of here, please. You gotta come on, forget about it.
I think a couple of the other people like are I don't know if they're not like stars now, like those three that you mentioned, but I feel like they're like in Hollywood. Like maybe they're
Yeah.
kids of actors or
Oh
something.
yeah. Um, Uma Thurman and Ethan
Oh,
Hawke's
My
daughter in the
Hawk.
car. Yeah. And the
Yeah.
girl, the lunatic girl screaming at the end is up for an Oscar Best Actress this year.
Really?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Nora? Nora's the movie? Mikey, I think it's Mikey Madsen. I think Madison or but yeah, she's up for Best Actress.
Really?
Yeah.
Because she was annoying in this film.
She was very annoying. That
I mean,
screaming was just too much.
yeah. What the hell? Um, I'll look this up later. So, um, yeah, I mean, I'm with you guys a little bit. It's not better than some of the other ones, but I do really enjoy it. I'm gonna go 8.9.
The score.
Yeah. Mikey Madison. Yep.
Shout out.
Shout
Shout out. Shout out. Who else was in there? What the hell is his name?
out. Oh,
What's his name? Mr. Turquoise, whatever his name is in Reservoir Dogs.
Mike
Michael
Madsen.
Madsen?
oh
Is it
yeah,
Michael
yeah, yeah.
Madsen?
Yeah. And a couple people, like Tim Roth was in it, but he got cut.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of people. Like, there's so many people in this. Kurt Russell, the best.
Forgot about Kurt.
Got about Kurt. Um, all right. Speaking of all these actors and characters, let's do favorite characters. Does anyone want to start?
Want me to go? I'll go. I'll go.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'll go.
let's let him
Please.
have it.
Please.
Go
Let
Let
ahead.
me
him
have
have
it.
it.
Let me have it. Let the boy have what he wants. That's what the boy wants. The boy gets. Um, please, please, please. Without further ado, uh, Leonardo DiCaprio as Rick Dalton. I mean, what can be said? What hasn't been said already? The man was playing 35 different characters in this movie. He was a movie star, a fading movie star, a TV star now, uh, going through a little existential crisis. He's deeply, deeply insecure, uh, a chain smoker, an alcoholic, uh, just a lunatic, doesn't want to do any Italian movies. How dare he? Some of the best movies are Italian movies. Um, he's to cut the check. And again, it's just a tour de force. I mean, I can't say enough about how much I love Leonardo DiCaprio in every single movie he's in. He's the best. He brings so much life to this character. And like Benny said, and like we said plenty of times before, like true acting to me is when you don't even know That's like that's Leonardo DiCaprio on the screen when you get so, caught up in the performance. Like Benny said, and like it's true, like Brad Pitt's Brad Pitt in Moneyball, Brad Pitt's Brad Pitt in um what's that movie? Fuck. I forgot. Whatever. But he's Brad Pitt and Brad Pitt playing Brad Pitt, and starring Brad Pitt. So it's always Brad Pitt, but Leonardo DiCaprio is something different, something special, something spectacular. Jordan, 93. No, 92, I'm sorry. Game one against the Trailblazers. 6 3-pointers in the first half. That's what DiCaprio is every time he's on the screen. Hi, Drexler, who?
Ryan, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. Jesus. I was just looking, just so we know. Uh, Leo's got 11 upcoming projects at this point,
Jeez.
including
PTA.
PTA. That's right. Good. Exactly. Very interested. It's expected in August. Exciting.
Excited for that one. Excited.
Maybe, maybe let the boys watch, go to the movies.
Oh, please, we need to.
Yeah, let's do it. Um, well, I'm gonna do it. Even though you guys have said numerous times that it's Brad Pitt playing Brad Pitt playing Brad Pitt. Um, and maybe I don't know. I don't care about it, what goes on outside. Maybe he's a good guy, maybe he's a shitty guy. I don't know. But in this movie, he's cool. He kicks ass. He, I don't know. He's just fucking awesome in this movie. I don't care whether the whole scene with him beating the shit out of Bruce Lee was invented in his head. He may or may not have killed his wife. I don't know.
It's a little
Probably.
annoying. A little annoying.
Um, but just like that whole, I mean, a number of scenes. This, when he goes to the farm or the ranch, I'm sorry, the Spawn Ranch, that like that whole thing is cool. Like he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go there anyway. Goes in, the screen door is not gonna stop me. Goes and talks to George, and then kicks the shit out of the guy for putting the knife in his tire. Like all that stuff is cool, and a lot of the other things he does is just cool. He is calm and collected most of the time, but still is not scary, but he's intimidating. And I mean, again, the end, he's high as fuck on LSD, and just the he could have done nothing else, but throwing that can of dog food at that girl's face is amazing. It's so funny and it's just so cool and kick-ass. So Cliff Booth, you're my favorite character from this.
Yeah, and even though like we keep saying that he's Brad Pitt playing Brad Pitt, like doesn't matter. He's still really great.
Still cool.
Yeah, his role calls for it. I don't care. Like I don't need him to be friggin' Daniel Day-Lewis in some of these roles. Like he's just good as he is. Um, I mean, those are the two obvious ones. So I guess I'll pick right from the top of the ticket after that and go with Margot Robbie. We've mentioned it a few times on the movies we watched that she's in. Like she's just great. She kills it in every role. Like she just lights up the screen. She has the charisma. Again, she's another one that just kind of like you get sucked into the character that she's playing. And yeah, I really enjoyed her in this movie. So interesting to see her in a Tarantino movie. Like this is a movie that like some of his favorites are in it, but getting to see Brad Pitt in a Tarantino movie, getting to see Margot Robbie in a Tarantino movie, like just really cool. The mix of actors he had in this movie.
With a tear in my eye, I had when they reunited at the end, Little Wolf of Wall Street, and they came back together again. I saw
Yeah.
how. I was proud. Got Dusty. I was proud.
Ani mentions.
I could go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to go Austin Butler as Tex. Thought he was very, very good in this movie. I wasn't expecting it. I kind of put him out of the back of my head when he was just like talking like Elvis for the past 6 years, and he kind of annoyed the shit him in. He wouldn't go back to his regular voice, but he was great in this movie, and you could see a little star in the making. I enjoyed his performance at the ranch, and then his kind of creepy turn. Um, at Rick's house. It was great. It was believable, and I definitely enjoyed I enjoyed his acting.
I
For
know
me, I'll
that's
go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I know, well, I don't know about riding any horses, but I always thought just when he's rushing back because Cliff's beating the shit out of Clem, um, the way he's just like this, and it's like feels like an extended period of time. I just always think it's like funny looking. Like
I thought it was cool. He was going back and forth, like whipping him. I was
yeah,
like, man, this guy's cool.
this guy knows what he's doing.
It's got horses. Um, I'm gonna go. I loved Al Pacino in this movie, and I really haven't seen honestly too many Al Pacino movies like Godfather. Um, I that might be really it. Haven't seen Carlito's Way. Haven't seen Scarface, but you just always know him as like, at least for me, my stereotype of him is like this intense, like crazy, you know, drug dealer or criminal in some way. So it was kind of cool to see him like as this laid back Hollywood type aging kind of guy that's like, I don't know, just it's just different for me than the uh like I said, the expectation I have of Al Pacino, and it's an older version of Al Pacino now that we're getting, and it's just to me it felt like something different for him. Again, another person that's cool to to see kind of mix it up with it being in a Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, there's so many good performances, even for some of the people that are in this film for like 4 seconds. Um, I feel like we could probably do this forever. I want to like specifically say, even though we kind of talked about it before, maybe it's a whatever scene, but I actually really liked um, what the hell's her name? Butters, Julia Butters, maybe. Yeah, the
Yeah, she was
the
great.
the little girl, she was awesome.
Yeah,
And I read a thing that Spielberg was on set, just visiting set, and it happened to be that day, and he's like, need that girl in my next film or whatever, a film coming up, and he cast her in Fableman. So like, good for her. But she
that's
was
awesome.
like, we often complain about child actors. I thought she was very good.
One
She
of
was
the best.
fantastic.
One of the best. Of course, friend of the program, Dakota Fanning.
Yeah, I was gonna
Quick
say.
scene, quick scene. I mean, how much we loved her in Man on Fire. The older Dakota Fanning, fantastic in the 5 minutes she was in Men and Sing. Believable that she really would sleep with that guy, even though that's disgusting and gross. But she's the best. She's great.
Yeah.
He's tired because I fucked his brains out.
I'm gonna give a half shout out for the last line he mentioned, and it's Mike Moe as Bruce Lee, because when he had those sunglasses on and he was giving like that monologue, he was Bruce Lee. But then when he took the sunglasses off, I was like, that's not Bruce Lee. That's not.
I mean, what a jawline on him. Look
Yeah.
out. Uh, Again, quick, I'll end it here, I guess. I gotta give it to Margaret Qualley. As Pussycat. She was great. She really was. Took me by surprise. I thought little Nepo baby, didn't think she could be a good actress. But yeah, shout out to her. She was believable and pretty sexy, even though she had some hairy pits. But what can you do?
She was in something that I liked. Uh,
I did a little deep dive. Leftovers.
oh yeah.
I'm just going through IMDb,
Yeah.
studying, researching.
Researching. She's what's her name's kid?
Andy McDowell,
One of my faves.
another Fox.
Yeah.
And shout out
Um,
Brandy. Shout out my girl Brandy. Good girl. You're a good girl, Brandy.
uh,
Rat
and
flavored dog food. Shout out.
yep.
Quick, yeah, and
Best.
I did love that too, by the way, the old school, food logos and things like
Oh,
that. I
loved it.
love that. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? We don't really specifically call out sets or scenes like with anything, but I'm gonna give an Ani Mensch to the setting and the design. Like you said, all the like old school logos, the neon signs across everywhere and stuff like that. Like loved all of that stuff. It's very
Yeah,
cool.
it really does, to your point, feel like Los Angeles and Hollywood are like a character in the movie. I mean, shout out Casa Vega. That was literally right by my apartment when that came on screen. I actually got a chance to do the Leonardo DiCaprio.
Wow.
Here I am. Here I come. Here I come. So shout out to LA.
I think they did win uh an Academy Award for production design.
Oh, I mean, that had to be a layup for all
Yeah.
those people that live in LA
Oh yeah.
to like vote
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
Least favorite. I think I lead it off here.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna do it just because there's something about her that I don't like, and I might get raked over the coals for this one. But Sydney Sweeney, I just don't.
Oh no,
When
she
I saw her,
stinks.
when I
Stinks.
saw her in this, I was like, God damn it! Even though she was like used, well, and she was only had like the one line or whatever. Um, but man, I mean, just some of the like clips I've seen of her acting, is just not good. So when I saw her in it, it kind of like it was a little bit of a bummer for me. Um, I guess I'm just an asshole, so I'll leave it at that.
No, you're not. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. It's just because she has fantastic New York boobs. She stinks. She stinks as an actress. I can't stand her on screen. Everything I see her, I roll my eyes and I want her as far away from my screen as possible.
I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, stinks.
I agree with that. Every movie I've seen her in, not great. She is pretty decent in that show. I forget what it's called now on HBO. But she
Euphoria.
started.
Euphoria.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have watched it, but she's pretty good in that.
All right.
But yes, I mean, yeah. Uh, least favorite character for me, and it kind of pains me to say because I typically like him, but I didn't like JC bringing this. He just kind of annoyed me, and I was just like, Come on,
Yeah.
quit sniffing around another man's wife."
It was his ex-girl, a little ex-dame.
I know, but I don't know.
Get away.
Yeah, it, I thought. I mean, Emile Hirsch played it great. But the character just kind of like annoyed me a little bit.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's hard to pick
Uh,
this round.
Yeah, this is a hard one. Everybody, like you said, everybody's just so fantastic in this movie.
yeah, I'll just take it a step further and go Roman Polanski for things, future things. So
Yeah, yeah.
take a hike, Polanski.
Not saying that he's a good person, but interesting you went with him instead of Charles Manson when he arguably did a lot more things.
That's true. Well, there's Ani Mensch's coming out. I mean, I'm just like, there's only one Austin Powers. And you dressing up like Austin Powers, no way. Just
Fair.
leave that to the Austin Powers.
Yeah,
That's what threw me off. And then
exactly.
the future things. But Manson, he gets to pass.
Because he had
He
those
wasn't
locks.
dressed. He wasn't dressing like at Austin Powers. He was his own man.
Yeah. Did I don't know if I could figure this out in time, but let's just say, did he do those terrible things after Sharon Tate was murdered?
I think so.
Yeah,
So maybe
77.
in this alternate reality, not saying that he's still not a piece of shit, because like even PTSD doesn't make you do those things, but maybe he doesn't do them. I don't know.
Lives happily ever
Maybe.
after.
I mean, he's married to Sharon Tate.
The guy who played Charles Manson in
Um,
Mindhunter.
yes.
Mindhunter. Yeah,
Right. That
Thanks.
that guy should just make that his career. Like
that's
not
Yeah,
it.
that's
not
it.
like a series. Like he just shows up in like a bunch of different movies as Charles Manson.
Yeah. Even like movies that have nothing to do with it, like a sports movie or a kids movie.
Just walks by in the background.
Like what's his name in Signs? Joaquin
Yeah.
Phoenix when he freaks out when he sees the alien. Uh,
That part still freaks me out. I don't care.
yeah,
Yeah.
it does. Good movie. Even though I hate Mel
Um,
Gibson.
Wow, yeah. Come on. Daddy's home. Any Ani mentions?
Of course, please give me Damian Lewis as Steve McQueen.
What?
Embarrassing. Embarrassing. I hate Damian Lewis. I think he
Really?
stinks. I don't yeah, they could have got anybody else. They could have got the Shermanator, and I would have rather had the Shermanator. So please, miss me,
Does he?
Damian Lewis.
Is it just me, or does he remind you of Michael Fassbender?
Watch your
I could
tongue.
see that a little bit.
Not acting wise, but their look. Because when he first popped up on screen, I was like, "Is that Fassbender? Like,
I
who's that?"
we could have had Fassbender as McQueen. That would have been believable.
Right?
Do
Stay
you
tuned for
not
America's
like
third favorite game. Let's get fast with Michael Fassbender.
do you dislike Damian Lewis from like Billions or something or a
Yeah,
specific?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
His performance in Billions is awful.
Okay. Fair.
I don't know, just something about his tiny ass lips that annoyed the shit out of me.
Fair. I mean, I only watched like maybe a few episodes of that, but I mean, I like him in Band of Brothers, so that's my reference point. But
Yeah. Plus, when you go in toe to toe with the god Giamatti, it's an impossible task. So
fair. It's fair. Uh, any Ani mentions for you, Benny?
Nuh-uh, I'm gonna pass on it because everybody either the role was such a small part that I really don't care about, or I thought everybody was just really good and played their part well. So I'll pass.
Fair. Yeah. Same. All right. So let's do favorite scenes. Does anyone want to start with this one?
I do.
I'll. Oh,
Oh,
I do.
Robbie. Robbie was
I
first.
do.
okay.
I do. My favorite scene is an absolutely incredible scene. And it's gonna go from a little bit to the end. So it's gonna drag a little bit, but it's a scene, and I'm gonna call it's the scene where Rick messes up his lines,
Fuck you. Yeah.
freaks out, and starts basically crying on set because he messed up his lines and he can't do it. Goes back, fully improvised by DiCaprio into his trailer and
Really?
fucking loses it. Yeah, fully improvised. Look it up by DiCaprio. He absolutely loses it. Do. I mean, it's amazing. I got it written down. He's just screaming at himself. He's like, "Hey, fucking whiskey sours! I couldn't stop at 3 or 4. You had to have 8. Why?" Amazing.
Uh,
It just look. I mean, please, suicide's nothing to joke about. But him just like threatening himself. He's like, if he doesn't get it, he's gonna go home and it's just please. Um, it made me laugh. I had to watch it again today on YouTube to look it up, and I was dying laughing. It's just a great scene. It's my favorite scene in the entire movie, and to know that he improvised the whole thing in the trailer, that's why DiCaprio is DiCaprio.
yeah, I can't. I fucking son of a bitch too. I knew when you jumped in and you had to have it because I knew you wouldn't have done that for the last scene. Like, because I mean, like that is kind of the chalk scene, but damn, I wanted that one so bad. Especially too, like even after all that and how funny it was, and the fact that they had the mirror set up so when you're looking at his reflection in the mirror, it's like literally staring at you right in the eyes. Just it's so good on so many levels.
And then he goes, I'm never drinking again." And he
Yeah.
takes
He
it
picks up the drink.
Throws it
on
out.
the hands it out the trailer door. I mean, please. It's, he's I was practicing those lines last night.
Damn, so good.
It's
Ryan, you want to
just
go? Go ahead.
I just again like that's what why this performance. I mean, so upset that he didn't win anything because, like you said, Benny, before, like I you thought that it was actually the movie, and then he snaps out when he forgets his lines. Like, oh, you're right. Like you said, it's him acting in a scene, acting as an actor. It's just it's just bravo to him. It's fantastic.
Damn.
Well,
Ryan, you want to put
that's for whatchamacallit. That's for best score in the Plummies.
there you go. A million and a million other times. Ryan, you want to put me out of my misery here and make me scramble for something at the last second?
No, go ahead. Since your first choice got stolen, I'll let you have the pick of the litter.
Well, I mean, then it's going to be the last scene of the movie, the fight scene, just because it's just what you're waiting for the whole time in a way, because you know you're not going to get out of a Tarantino movie without something gratuitously violent. Um, like Robbie mentioned, I think, or maybe it was you, Ryan. Well, either one of you, obviously. But when you get the Occam's razor, or what is it, the Chekhov's gun of the blowtorch, the flamethrower in the shed, and for it to come back full circle at the end, like just the fantastic scene in the movie. Then you get that little flash that he still has it, and that's how he kills the girl in the pool. Brad Pitt just going full on sicko mode while he's high as fuck. I love when he's like, "Are you real?" And he's pointing the finger gun back at him, and he's just so cool the whole entire time. Um, he just when he freaks out on the girl and is bashing her, like bouncing her head like a basketball around the whole entire house.
Oof.
I didn't know. I thought he was going to sacrifice. He was going to be the one that dies at the end. Like there was going to be. I thought one of the two of them were going to die because uh they knew who Cliff was, and then DiCaprio kind of like grew his hair out like him and had the long sideburns at the end. I'm like, oh, they're gonna confuse them, and he's gonna die. But the fact that they all got out of it alive, and you got that nice friendship moment from the two of them at the end, unexpectedly happy ending for a Tarantino movie. So just the whole way that the movie ended, like you're like the tension was building for quite some time towards the end of this movie, and I think it just paid off so well, and just like only out of the mind of Tarantino are you going to get a scene like that, because he's not going to hold back with the violence. He's just going to make it as ridiculous as possible, but it still almost felt real in a way. Like in all the Tarantino movies, like it's so gratuitously violent. Like someone gets their throat slit and it's like spraying all over the place and they're running around with their head cut off. But it was almost like all that stuff could have been like realistic. So it's like reserved in a way for him, but also still incredibly gratuitous. So I thought it was just a fantastic way to end the movie and just done so well.
Great. Um, yeah, it's a great scene. It's and like the girl again, whatever her name is, Mikey Madison, is that who the one that got torched? Um, her screaming is like it's like kind of funny, and then I'm like, all right, that's enough. But then it's so much and so over the top that like, all right, I love it. Like it's just so enjoyable at the same time. It's funny.
Well, it's I mean like we brought it up a couple of times I think, but it's like that Team America, the throw up scene where
Yeah,
like it's hilarious. Then it's like, all right, this is too
it's
much. But
enough.
then it goes on so long that it's funny again. And
Yeah.
and it's the same thing with that. Not necessarily in a comedic way in this
No, but
sense.
like sort of.
Right. Like it's okay, all right, this is too much and it's annoying. And then it goes on for so long at the end that you're like, it
Yeah.
makes sense.
And then it's so satisfying for him to torture because it's just like, all right, shut up. Um, I think I'll go with I guess I'll go with this the Spawn Ranch scene. I mentioned it before. Um, just a cool scene, all the hippies clearly using George. He's, I guess, banging at least one of them, getting his brains
For
fucked
life.
out. Um, but just generally, it was like a cool scene. Like I enjoy it. Um, Brad Pitt was cool in it. Beats the shit out of Clem. That was great. Fix it. And just him just being like cool, calm, collected, confident. Um, nobody wants to get yelled at by like 30 hippies. That'd be unnerving for a lot of people, and he didn't give a shit.
Fucking hippies.
It's a like obviously doesn't play the same on a rewatch, but just a like just a great masterclass in like tension again with that with the bar scene in Inglourious Basterds. I mean, just not doing much, but creating so much tension in the scene is just a Tarantino, masterclass.
Yeah. Um, any matches? What do you guys got?
Give me this. I like the scene between Rick and the little girl. I thought it was,
Same.
like we said, it was kind of thrown in there, but again, then it makes sense later to kind of a lot of it. But you guys, we mentioned her in the Ani mentions as far as one of our favorite characters, and I agree, she was just great. I loved again DiCaprio in that scene where he's realizing that the book is like a metaphor for his life, and he gets all caught up in it, and the pumpkin puss, or he calls her pumpkin puss, and she's upset by it, but she's like, "I'm gonna let it slide because you're clearly upset." So it's really good, the good chemistry between the two of them in that scene.
Yeah. And also just keep it going. That whole scene with him there doing this part, like fantastic.
Yeah.
Got Luke Perry, Boston. Uh, who else? Who was the other guy that was in there?
Timothy Olyphant.
Right. Yeah, he was good. And just, I mean, it was good acting. Like, yeah, I know she's an 8-year-old. What the fuck does she know? But it was a great scene. He was good in that.
Even the dude that does it that I see, maybe he was in Westworld or something like that. That's a good actor that didn't have any. I think he didn't have much to say on the horse with Luke Perry. I forgot that guy, that actor, but I think he was in like the first season of Westworld or something like that. But I've seen him in a bunch of stuff that I think he's a good actor. I don't know his name. Maybe I could have did some research before. And then
We don't do that here,
he
Robbie.
yeah, he nails the scene. She tells him it's the greatest acting performance he ever seen. He starts tearing up, and he's like, "I'm Rick fucking Dalton," and that's who he
Yeah.
is. He's the
Yeah.
best. So, I can take, um, man, there's so many. All right, give me when they leave the restaurant, and he tells them don't cry in front of the Mexicans. Just the drive home to Rick's house with the music playing and the way it's shot, and not saying too much and just having the radio play and be the narration for that scene. I loved it, and then coincide with Cliff taking his shitty car, the again juxtaposition, and driving back to his little lot over there, and the coolness of him driving home with the soundtrack in the background as well.
Yeah, you get all that classic like LA stuff and all the signs and just really good.
Well,
Yeah.
and a quick question, like, why do we stop making neon signs?
I don't
Woke,
know.
probably.
Yeah, they're too woke.
Those neons, what do they turn? They turn you like into a gay frog or something like that.
Probably.
Bring them back. They shouldn't be cheap to. They shouldn't be like expensive to make.
They're fantastic.
Executive order number 110. Bring back neon
Um,
lights.
I, just based on a quick search, many businesses went away because they were expensive and fragile. It's just a glass tube.
Yeah,
The neon. Where are you getting neon from these days? You gotta go
terrific.
to you gotta go to space.
And go to Mars. Um,
I'll do, we mentioned it already once before, and whether it's, I mean, again, all of it's fiction, but the scene with Cliff and Bruce Lee, it's, and saw a couple things that like people said that like that isn't how he was, and like that we don't, this is a characterization of Bruce Lee that's inaccurate and blah blah blah, and that may be, I don't know. But I do like that someone who is so revered for his skills in martial arts and fighting and stuff like that is like, it's just funny to see him taken down a few notches. Again, probably inaccurate, but for some reason it's just like enjoyable. It'd be like, we've mentioned Jordan a few times. It'd be like if Cliff Booth got on the court with Jordan and was just like fucking schooling him. Now, that's ridiculous, but it would just be funny to see.
Yeah. I did like again, it's a Tarantino movie. Like, of course, like these characters are going to be so wild. I doubt that he was like that, but the voice and the way he looked was very Bruce Lee. That's why I shouted it out earlier because I was like, wow, that is a really good impression.
yeah.
Any other Ani matches?
I'll stop there in the interest of time, just to keep it moving.
Yeah, I'll just quickly say the DiCaprio Pacino scene. Love
Yeah,
that.
good
Just
call.
basically telling him that he's just like washed up and it's over, kid. Let's go to Italy and make some Italian westerns. And I mean, imagine that just going home with your dame in your screening room, have a couple of brandies, couple of cocktails.
Ah, the life. Smoke a
Not
Nice.
bad.
cigar.
Oh, and again, quickly watching this movie, I'm just like, man, it sucks that cigarettes cause cancer because
I
man,
know. I know. I
Sucks.
think too, like that you to jump on that point of the Pacino scene, like it that's such a funny way, not a funny way, but like probably very true, and like that psychology of Hollywood to like take the leading man and then use him to build up stars on other TV shows by like making him the guy that they defeat. Like it's so I mean, I'm sure that it is based in reality, but it makes so much sense to looking back on it.
Yeah. Um,
it Schwarz.
Schwartz.
Oh, I'm really sorry.
Really.
After he had like fucking 15 drinks already, pounding
Yeah,
him down.
probably. Speaking of cigarettes, did you guys see the mid-credit scene?
No, I skipped it.
There's
Get
a Red Apple cigarette commercial,
an
Is
actual
there?
one or a
featuring Rick Dalton.
okay, I got to go back and watch it.
It's on YouTube. You could search it. You don't have to
Because
like scrub through the movie.
yeah, I always scan through I go right to the end. I always forget that there's sometimes mid credit.
Oh, it was pretty good. Worth watching. It's on YouTube.
All right.
Watch till the end of the video. Don't think you know what is going on and then be like, all right, that was good, I guess. 10 seconds left. Watch the whole thing.
Okay.
I think I lost my mic for a sec.
I think you're
Oh, I
good
have to
now.
ask.
Oh,
Sorry,
there we go.
we didn't touch on it, but we have to give it to Shaman a rating to Cliff's wife on the boat.
Oh, you're right. Please. I mean,
Yeah, you
please.
are the expert.
I
Remember, it
think
was the
that's,
60s.
but she still has some undercarriage, a nice little plump to it. I gotta go with double eights, 8-8.
It's a fair.
It's a
Fair. I
good.
would probably go a little bit lower. I'd probably go 7.9.
But yeah, that's goodness gracious, tough tushometer, tough tushy.
Listen, listen. I like a plumper tush. I'll just say that.
All right, so then I'll go 9-3 for Rick's Italian wife when he brings her home.
There you go. Good
That
good
was
score.
plump. Yeah, that was juice.
Uh,
Squeeze.
Mrs. was talking about how she was laughing about our tushy talk of Severance of Heliar. I was like, she's got a good tush.
Fantastic tush.
I gotta watch.
Have you not watched anything yet?
Not the new season. Not the new season.
Mm. Ooh.
It's hard, man. Like that one, I loved it, but I feel like that's a hard one to go week to week. Maybe it's different this year, but last year I feel like if we were able to binge it last year. I feel like if we would have been waiting week to week on that one, it would have been a little tough because there was so much stuff that was not happening, but like laying a lot of groundwork. I don't want you guys to spoil whether or not I should do it, but at some point we'll probably at least let it build up to maybe 3 or 4 and then jump in.
Fair.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I like it gives me something to do, on like Reddit. Be like, oh, I
I
could either
know,
look at the news or I could look at theories about Severance.
I know, I hate that too about Attack on Titan. Like, there's so many things I want to look up about it, but I know I'm going to get like incredibly spoiled on
Yeah, you
everything
can.
else.
Yeah. Um, all right, where are we? Tushometer? All right.
Uh,
If that was your
Van
favorite
Damme.
Tush, who's the worst now?
We didn't done
Least
him.
favorites? Least favorite scenes? Please, the worst.
Oh, yes, least favorite scenes.
I think you're starting us off.
Oh. Um, I think man. I think I'll go with, I don't know, something bothers me a little bit about um Sharon Tate's, like, again, I called out J.C. Sebring, but like her crew of lackeys, just, I don't know. I'm just kind of like about them. They seem very nice, I guess. I mean, they're not hippies like, at Spawn Ranch, but I think the whole scene, if you could separate, because they kind of combine it with Cliff um and Rick going to dinner. But when they're at dinner, I don't know, something, I'm just like, I don't care about this. Let's go.
I don't care for these people.
I don't care for these people.
I don't care about the Folders Crystal heiress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me use your point to piggyback into an Ani mention I should have gave, and it was Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate in the theater watching her own movie. That's an Ani mention for favorite scene. She was really good in that. Like her, getting to see the reaction of
Yeah.
everybody, her
Getting
doing the
excited and stuff.
yeah, the Bruce Lee, like mimicking that. But I'll go for my least favorite scene. Give me Pussycat's feet on the glass in the car. It wouldn't bother me so much if I didn't know Tarantino was so creepy about feet and he just finds a way to like get it in. But just to have the feet and to have them all mushed up on the windowsill, and the anxiety in me being like, if you get into an accident and your feet are on that windshield, it's bad
Bad
news.
news. Yeah.
So give me it for A, just mushy feet on window, and B, the anxiety that it caused me as my least favorite scene.
Well, there you go again. There you go again.
Good.
With that
I needed
sharp
to get
tongue of
one
yours.
back.
With that sharp tongue of yours. Because my least favorite scene was just feet, feet, feet. There was just too much feet in
Too
this
much
movie.
feet.
Like we get it, Tarantino, you love it. Your foot fetish, you, Rex Ryan, all of them. We get it. Just way too much. Way too much feet up, pan up shots, even with shoes on, stuff like that. I get it. I don't know what it's for, but I'll just piggyback up you and say Sharon Tate's dirty feet in the movie theater. Disgusting.
He's really pushing it. Like he can't just like now it just can't be regular feet. It's dirty feet. Like
Yeah.
he's just outdoing himself.
Next we get somebody who has gout and they have to amputate a couple toes.
He keeps needing a stronger and stronger hit now. He's too
Yeah.
addicted.
I was like, man, I'll just dock this movie because there's too many feet in this movie.
Anybody got any mentions for least favorites?
Good call on the feet, though. That's very true. Even not just bare feet, but you're right, Robbie. He's always coming up. Like, even with, it's not just the female feet, it's the males too, like showing their shoes, like coming up. There's a number of shots of Cliff's, like, kind of whatever those type of shoes
Moccasins.
are, like moccasin types.
Yeah, Luke Perry getting off the horse and stuff like that. And yeah, just a lot. A couple would be cool, but I feel like, I mean, what do I know? I'm just saying, like 10 to 12 of those shots. Like, all right, we get it. We get it.
Yeah, I'm not kink shaming. You like
No.
feet, that's your business. That's fine,
Yeah.
but
But do it on your own
don't
time.
make it my business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Um, all right. Move on then, I guess.
Yeah, Ryan, I got a question for you.
Please.
Where you going tonight, Frank? Tahiti? We got a little game we like to play. It's called Where You Going Tonight, Frank? Tahiti? It's something that's a little out there in the movie, or maybe a pop culture reference, or something that we thought was just completely unbelievable. It's based on, listen, another fantastic Leonardo DiCaprio movie, Catch Me If You Can, with Christopher Walken asking Leonardo
How dare you?
Oh,
Watch your tongue.
whoa.
as Frank Abagnale Jr. He says, "Where you going tonight, Frank Tahiti?" So we give out a little "Where you going tonight, Frank Tahiti" award, and mine this week is Casa Vega, the Bruin Theater, all those old school LA spots. They brought up all the warm and fuzzies inside me. Ventura Boulevard. I mean, just making me think of the fantastic 5 years that I spent in Los Angeles. I loved it. I thought they did, obviously, I mean, that's not hard. They were filming in LA, but just did such a great job of capturing LA as a city and like all those different famous spots. So where you going tonight, Frank? Tahiti? Los Angeles?
And I'll piggyback off that because best 5 years of my life when you were in LA. Goodbye.
Oh, what a dick.
Well, guess what? Hey, good news. They are trying to annex, so look out. You can go
California?
back. It could be, yeah, they're trying to put a bill through to be its own little institution.
Oh, I would love to. I would love to.
So you might be able to go back. I'm about to join you.
The country of California.
Let the water flow
I
down
think you
from the
think I
Pacific
think you're thinking
Northwest.
of secede and not annex.
Yeah, sorry. I'm thinking about the annexation of Puerto Rico, the best play ever invented.
Of course. They're just standing around, butts.
History major, 12 years.
Who wants to
You
go
Uh,
want me to
next?
go? I can go.
yeah, go ahead.
My way going tonight, Frank, to Haiti is, you mean to tell me, you mean to tell me that handsome man, Rick Dalton, is a washed up Hollywood actor? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And I don't want to believe it because the performance that he put on that screen, the beautiful face. I mean, that's washed up. I want to see what actually washed up is in Hollywood because he still got it. He still had it. He should have been, performing. He should have been on Bonanza and The Man from Uncle and, Lancer. He should have been starring in fantastic movies. He should have been replacing Frank Sinatra in that one movie. He should be replacing Dean Martin. It's Rick Dalton all the time. Don't make me not believe that he's a wash-up movie actor. So my way of going tonight, Frank the Haiti, is making me believe that Rick Dalton is washed up.
Yeah. Make him gain 40 pounds or something like that. Then I would have believed it. But he was still at the
Exactly.
top of his game. But it's also too like I mean that is kind of the old school version of washed up, right? Like you can't play the hero, you're not playing the hero anymore. Where like now so many people would revel in like, oh, I get to be the bad guy now. Like it's almost like that wrestling thing, like, oh, I had so much more fun being the heel than being like the good guy because it
Yeah.
opened up all these different worlds for me. But yeah, I mean, when with looks like that, hair like that, chops like that, come on, he's not washed up. He's just
No,
getting started.
just getting started. I mean, who can do 8 whiskey sours in a night? How dare you?
No, and then show up on set and still nail it.
Please.
That's so many drinks. Maybe I was thinking about that. Maybe he has a reputation of being a drunk and people don't want to hire him.
Ugh,
I don't know. I mean, we see after the Dewey, that car accident, and like maybe this is the comeback.
Oh, I forgot he
Plus,
had the DUI.
he becomes friend. I don't know if he got a Dewey, but he got in an accident. Back then, they probably were just like, yeah, whatever. Um, but now he's friends with Sharon Tate and Jay Sebring. Maybe Roman Polanski comes back. That gets him back into the in crowd.
yeah,
So maybe.
yep, agreed.
Um, my where you going tonight, Frank, to Haiti? Is when Benny said DiCaprio.
Ah, disgusting.
Freudian slip. Freudian
What an
slip.
embarrassment. What an embarrassment to the community, to the film community.
I'm sorry, Leo.
Of which we are a part of. Um, all right. Shall we play America's favorite game?
Let's
Yeah,
play
real
it.
quick. I did like how the title of the movie was at the end of the movie. Once
Yeah.
upon a time in Hollywood he didn't show the title of the movie until the end of the movie.
Oh, I didn't realize he didn't show it at the beginning either. I like that.
You're too busy, thinking about ways you can call DiCaprio, DiCaprio.
I had to try to sneak it in there. I've been waiting an hour for that.
Um, so our second and final game of the evening is working overtime with Matt Damon, in which we cast Matt Damon in a part that exists or that we've made up. And it comes from another Leo movie, Departed, with Matt Damon, when he says that he is working overtime in the bedroom.
And his penis works fine.
And his penis works fine, even though it clearly doesn't. Um, does Well, usually we let Robbie go because he always has, maybe the
Mine
best.
isn't. I'm
No?
sorry. Mine isn't crazy this week, so I can go whenever.
All right. Do you want to go first then? Kick us off?
Sure.
Go.
Yeah, sure. My My Matt, casting Matt Damon, please give me a young, lean, fresh on the Hollywood scene, ready to take women's panties home. Maybe get a quick sniff. Who knows? Uh, you know, have a couple of drinks at the bar, have a couple of drinks at the pool, have a couple of drinks at the Playboy Mansion. This is easy. Give me Matt Damon in a quick cameo as Steve McQueen. Uh, that more believable than pencil lip Damian Lewis. Get out of my screen. Go somewhere. I don't want to see you again. You stink. You're terrible. Um, yeah,
I
that's
hate you
quick and
guys.
easy. Matt Damon in a 5 minute performance as Steve McQueen. Forget about it. You want to talk about my plums staying erect for Leonardo DiCaprio? Please double the time as Matt Damon as Steve McQueen.
Fair enough. Ryan, you want to go second or last?
I'll go. Give me a older, decrepit, but still kind of hot Matt Damon. Because I mean, he's always going to be hot. As George, and mainly, he did a great job. What's his name? Bruce Dern, I think. Um, in that kind of cameo-esque role, very short role. But I just want to see Matt Damon in a role like that because he's never been in a role like that, where he's just like kind of gross, disgusting, just old and doesn't. I don't know where I am. I'm blind. Blah blah blah. And I don't know. I just think it'd be funny to see that.
Well, you did see it in Benjamin Button, the the same Brian Ryan, Jeff, when you thought that was Benjamin Button.
It
Yeah,
was
What can
Benjamin
you
it's
Button.
miss?
true. It's true.
All right.
Real quick, I'm sorry. That was supposed to
Done.
be rest in peace. That was supposed to be
Keith Carradine.
what's the guy's name?
Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds. There you go.
Oh, really? Cool. I'm gonna break the rules here. I'm
Sick.
gonna
Thanks.
I'm
Oh,
I'm gonna
really cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
cool. Yes.
I'm gonna spin off and I'm gonna pitch Quentin Tarantino in his 10th movie. He seems to be taking a long time to figure out what he wants his final movie to be. But since he has a history now of changing history, give me a young, handsome, charismatic, Boston accent having Matt Damon as JFK in a movie where we saved JFK from getting murdered in Dallas in 1963, and that's Tarantino's 10th movie. So give me Matt Damon as JFK in Once Upon a Time in a convertible.
Wow.
Ooh, JFK Vampire Slayer.
Wow. That's a good one.
Like that?
I
Broke
do.
the rules slightly
Yeah.
and cast it. Because I mean, this movie was casted so well.
Yeah.
So why not kind of go out on a limb here and pitch Tarantino? Maybe I get a writing credit.
He does have
Oh,
his.
imagine.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Imagine Damon. We will go to the moon.
Not because what is it? Not because it is hard, but because it is hard.
Not because it is easy, but because it is hard.
Or, um, Tarantino's next movie is allegedly called The Critic.
Oh yeah, that's right. But didn't he like scrap it, or
I
is
don't
it
know.
rewriting it or something?
Who knows? Maybe it is gonna be about JFK.
Could be.
If he's
Pe-
listening.
People who are critical of JFK's time as president.
Maybe.
How big of a role do you think Tarantino's going to have in his last movie? Because
Oh,
he's definitely coming back to acting for his last
gotta.
movie.
And what? So I mean, he gave himself the ability to say the N-word.
Hmm.
He sucked Salma Hayek's feet. What's he gonna do this time?
Oof, I don't know, man. Stick a foot up his ass. I don't know. A tired foot. Yeah, that's what's taking him so long. He's stretching himself out.
Yeah, human footipede. It's just a carousel of people's feet.
He's such a creep.
Oh man, can't be genius without being crazy. See, that's what listen, there's a lot of conversation about being autistic and getting away with things that you shouldn't. That's what autism should get you away with. A little bit of a weird foot fetish, not becoming a full-blown N-word, and not the
Yeah.
bad N-word, the other bad N-word, the one with the Z in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's talk about something else.
I didn't want to say, and
I know.
the people that DiCaprio
Flip
blowtorched
it.
in this movie.
Flip it.
Flip it.
Oh, anybody order fried sauerkraut?
Can we make that a little less hot? It's a flamethrower, Rick.
Which
Oh,
was
yeah.
which was him like actually saying that as
DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio, and they kept it in.
Really?
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah.
Good show. Dropping all the knowledge this week.
When you're right, you're right.
See what
And
happens
that's
when Robbie likes a movie?
please.
Idiocracy. He couldn't be bothered. This one, he's got tidbits. He's got everything coming out.
Tidbits. Burt Reynolds, Juicy Joe Biden, whoever.
It's not a joke.
Tariffs. Serious. That's Cliff Booth. I'm serious.
Here's the deal, folks.
He didn't kill his wife. I'm serious. Told me. No joke. I believe him. I'm pardon him.
50 million, billion, zillion. Come back, Joe, please.
Anybody.
Anybody.
Michael Dukakis come back. Please, somebody.
Oh,
Put in your tank.
good pull.
But Dukakis?
Yeah.
He's still alive. He still got it.
Oh man. Well, anything else we got for Tarantino Week Part 7?
Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah. There's only like 2 left that people haven't seen.
Yeah. Jackie
Or
Brown here
somebody
for
did with their birthday.
Got 3 cracks at it this year.
Somebody say 3.
All right. Well, as always, we appreciate listening, sticking around, hanging out with us for a little bit. Again, send us a message. There's a number of ways to do this. Subscribe, like us. We appreciate it. Give us some suggestions. We love you. Robbie, tell them good night.
Oh. Good night to my wife and all my sweethearts. May they never meet.
Quentin, if you want to make the JFK movie, you know where to find me.
Son Gabriel walks in. My wife said no.
I got nothing.
4 more years.
Let the boy watch. Let the boy watch. He needs to learn the way I learned from my father.